Today I'm sharing all of my favorite single eyeshadows in my makeup collection that I use for one and done eyeshadow looks. Hey guys, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Julie and I'll help you find the best affordable beauty and drugstore makeup products. I'll show you how to enjoy your current makeup collection and help you to become more confident and elevate your beauty from the inside out by teaching you my best makeup techniques and sharing with you my most valuable life lessons. So if that resonates with you, you should subscribe and stick around. I will be doing future tutorials and get ready with me videos featuring each of these single shadows that I'm mentioning today. I have a lot of favorite singles, so it's going to take me a while to get through those videos. So I'll probably spread those out over the next weeks and months. So the first category is cream or flesh toned eyeshadows. I have two favorites. So the first one here, and I know that the second one's probably a little hard to see, but this shade here is from L'Oreal in Iced Latte. This is one of their infallible pressed eyeshadows. This formula has been around for such a long time. This one in Iced Latte is a really beautiful golden cream shade. Like when you turn to the side there, it kind of blends into the skin a little bit, especially if you're more fair. But then as you can see, when the light hits it, it's very much like a nice chrome eyeshadow. Now, this shade that I have here, this one is more of a satin finish eyeshadow, but this is one of my favorite shadows to use when I'm just doing a very barely there makeup look or just like a really natural look. It adds a little sheen to your eyelids, but it looks very natural. This is a MAC single eyeshadow in Grain. MAC really makes some great singles. This was an eyeshadow brand that was really talked about at the beginning stages of YouTube, in 2005 to 2008. People raved about MAC and their eyeshadows are still great. Their eyeshadows are a little bit more buildable. They might not be extremely pigmented with the first swatch, but that's kind of what I enjoy about MAC eyeshadows. I just find that they're really beginner-friendly eyeshadows and you can do more creative looks with them in that regard. So next is probably my favorite category in all of these categories. And I have 6 different single rose gold eyeshadows that I love to wear on their own. That is probably my favorite go-to color for just a one and done shade. I just find that it's really flattering on both cool and warm skin tones. It's a very neutral shade. This is all 6 of my favorite rose gold eyeshadows swatch, single eyeshadows. This first shade here is one of the Maybelline singles in Nude Glow, which I'm going to be doing a tutorial with this shade tomorrow. But it's one of it probably is my very favorite rose gold shade out of all these ones that I'm sharing with you guys today. The second one down is another L'Oreal Infallible shadow. This is in Amber Rush, which this is a classic. It's very similar to the Maybelline shadow. The Maybelline one might be just slightly a little bit more pink, and the L'Oreal one is a little bit more copper, and it has maybe slightly a little bit more of a chrome effect, but they are pretty close in color there. And I feel like with the swatches here, you can see how chrome those shadows are. This bottom one here is another MAC eyeshadow, and this is Sable. So this is a darker, almost like a bronzed rose gold. This is a MAC Frost shade, and even though it does have shimmer in it, as you can see, it's not quite as shimmery as the first 2 colors. This next shade over here is another MAC single in All That Glitters, which this is Sable here. You can see it in the little pan. But this is All That Glitters is this next one here. And this is more of like a golden rose gold color. A really pretty everyday shade. It's like a step up from green, where this has more like shimmer and glow to it, but it looks really natural on the eyelid, especially if you're a lighter skin tone. So love that shade. The last two here. So the last one, I debated on mentioning this or not because, well, I have a few of these in my favorites. So, you know, you can't really get this anymore. This is discontinued. This is the Essence Melted Chrome Shadow in Zinc About You. And it's like a pinky mauve rose gold color. So maybe if you have this in your collection, it will just like remind you to bust this out and use it again. But yeah, this is another one of my favorites. Use it all the time. This one here is another MAC single shadow. This one is more of a pink than a rose gold, but I grouped it in this because it doesn't really go with any of the other groupings. But this is MAC Girly, and it's a satin finish, so the same finish as Grain. But I really like this for a one and done shade, especially when I just want a nice mauvey pink all over the lid. So the next category is gold, and I have three favorites here. The first one is a Believe Beauty Glimmer Pots. It's gel to powder eyeshadow, and I feel like I never hear anybody mention these. I never really hear very many people talk about Believe Beauty, but Believe Beauty really has some nice products that are super affordable. You can find Believe Beauty at Dollar General, but I really like this color. It's like a champagne gold. Sometimes I'll use this as a base underneath other eyeshadows. The shade in the middle is another Maybelline single shadow in the Glow Down. Like, it has a bit more of a nude glow quality to it, so I find that it blends into like my skin color a little more than some of the other gold shades. But yeah, this is probably my most reach for one. I really enjoyed that one. And then the last one here is a very yellow gold, and this is another L'Oreal Infallible single in Eternal Sunshine, which I totally forgot to mention the shade of the Believe Beauty shadow, but this is in the color Gold Flake. All right, next category are bronzed single shadows. The first one here is another Believe Beauty cream to or gel to powder formula, and this is in the color Vintage. So this is more of like a copper bronze shade. The next one here is a MAC single shadow in Sable. And that is the color I have on my eyelids today. So in the crease, I applied this shade lighter, like on this top part of my crease. Then in the outer V, I went in with a couple of layers of the shadow to build it up and make it a little bit darker. And then on the eyelid, I applied like 3 layers of it to just really intensify it and bring out like the shimmer, like that golden coppery bronzy shimmer in the shadow. So that's why I really enjoy MAC singles, is the versatility in building the color up. Then this one here is a really unique shade from MAC, and this is in the color Woodwinked. So this has almost like a duochrome effect, like where the shimmer in it is really golden, but like the base color is more like sable here. So when you use that color all over the lid and into the crease, in the crease it gives a little bit more of like a shadowed definition, and then on the lid it's a little lighter and brighter, like Sable, but more golden on the lid. So that's just a really beautiful color. I have loved that Woodwink shade since the year after I started my YouTube channel, and I really started to discover MAC eyeshadows. So I really love that one. And then the last one here is another honorable mention from Essence, and this is in the shade Golden Crown. So it's kind of similar to the Believe Beauty shade, but more chrome and just has like a lot more shimmer in it. And then the last category is another favorite next to rose gold eyeshadows, and that is Taupe. like single taupe shadows. So this first one here is another Maybelline single in Sterling Greige, which I did a look with this a couple weeks ago, and I will link the video down below. If I have used any of these shades in any videos so far, I will link them down below. The color underneath of that is Wet n Wild Single Shadow in Nutty. And I know that some of you were thinking that Sterling Greige was the same color as Nutty. So I hope you can see the swatches here. They are different. Sterling Greige has more like glitter in it, like in the shade, and it's a bit warmer, a little bit more golden, where Nutty is just like a straight shimmer finish. It doesn't have really any larger like glitter bits in it. It's just like really fine, like little shimmers, and it's more gray. So Nutty, and then this color here, which is MAC Satin Taupe, those are definitely more similar in color. And back in the day, this was talked about as a dupe to MAC Satin Taupe, and I think that's what kind of like sparked me to get this in the first place. But yeah, Wet n Wild Nutty is one of my go-to everyday taupe colors. I've loved this shade for such a long time. So such a beautiful one and done everyday color. And yeah, MAC Satin Taupe is also really pretty, the same effect. Then over here I have another L'Oreal Infallible Shadow. This is in Bronzed Taupe, and it's a little darker. I do enjoy that shade. I don't wear it quite as much just because it is a little bit darker and a bit more smoky. And then this is another honorable mention, another Essence Melted Chrome Shadow in Ironic, and this is more of a silver taupe. So I did a tutorial with this recently, so I will link that video down below if you'd like to see that tutorial with this. I think that one and done eyeshadows are very underrated, and a lot of people on YouTube don't really talk about them. Most people feature eyeshadow palettes. I know I definitely feature a lot of eyeshadow palettes on my channel, but I can see where it is useful from your perspective, especially on these get ready with me videos, when you just want a wearable everyday look that's quick and easy. So I think that featuring all of these shadows in upcoming videos will be really useful for you guys. If you enjoyed this, give this video a like, a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe so that you won't miss any of these future videos where I use these shadows. And I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.
You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with